The Canadian Football League proudly presents The Spirit of '88. A concise review of a year of exceptional performances by exceptional athletes from all 8 CFL teams. In the Eastern Division, the Ottawa Roughriders struggled. As a result, head coach Fred Glick was replaced by offensive line coach Bob Weber. But the story in Ottawa was the play of first-year sensation Orville Lee. The running back from Simon Fraser University led the CFL in rushing with 1,075 yards on 232 carries. The league's first pick overall didn't disappoint. His outstanding abilities earned him recognition as the league's top rookie. Apart from being the CFL's premier rusher, Lee's 914 yards on kickoff returns were also a league high. Wide receiver Gerald Alphen led all receivers until injury ended his season. During that time, Alphen hauled in 64 passes, averaging over 20 yards per catch. Newcomer Remy Watson showed signs of brilliance with his 476 yards in receiving. On defense, the highlight was the aggressiveness of Notre Dame grad Troy Wilson. The sophomore cornerback shared the title of the CFL's top ball hawk with 10 interceptions, including 3 in one game. And linebacker Kenny Braden impressed Ottawa fans with his 71 individual tackles. Al Bruno guided his Hamilton Tiger Cats to a third-place finish. Shenley Award winner Grover Covington was a standout on defense. Covington preyed upon opposition quarterbacks, sacking the pivots 25 times, tops in the league. In the process, Grover established a CFL record with 132 career sacks, surpassing BC's James Quick Parker. The Tiger Cats offense was spirited by signal caller Mike Kerrigan. Kerrigan completed 188 passes in an injury-shortened season. His favorite target was the Eastern Division's most outstanding player in 1988. Earl the Pearl Winfield caught 8 touchdown passes on 60 receptions. The shifty sprinter became the first player in CFL history to score punt return, kick return, and pass receiving TDs in the same game, Labor Day against Toronto. On specialty teams, the Pearl scored on a 100-yard kickoff return and tied a CFL record by returning 4 punts to the end zone. Eight-year veteran Steve Stapler recorded 4 touchdowns and had a tidy 870 yards in receptions. First-year running back Martin Sarton rushed 123 times and picked up 5 TDs. Backup quarterback Tom Porras passed for 13 touchdowns and connected with rookie Wally Zatilny for his first CFL touchdown. Covington's defensive success was complemented by line mates Mike Walker and Rodney Skillman. Walker earned Eastern Division All-Star honors, and Skillman's 4th CFL season was exceptional. His 17 sacks rated as the league's 2nd highest total. Veteran linebacker Frank Robinson continued his consistent play, 74 tackles and 3 interceptions. Hamilton's defensive backfield had the #1 ranking in interceptions with 40. Cornerback Lance Shields contributed with 9 pickoffs and returned this one for 6 points. Howard Fields was selected a CFL All-Star at his position for a 2nd time. And Penn State All-Star Pete Giptopoulos returned home to strengthen the linebacking core. The Blue Bombers' 500 record was good enough for 2nd place. Safety Benny Thompson became a first-time All-Star. Well-executed blitzes resulted in 7 sacks, and his 82 tackles were tops on team defense. Captain James Wild West anchored the middle and collected his 3rd All-Star award. Number 53, Aaron Brown, returned to the Bombers in convincing fashion. Former NFL first-round draft pick Rod Hill stabilized the corner with 7 interceptions. Punter Bob Cameron set a CFL record for most yardage. And CFL Coach of the Year Mike Riley and his Bomber offense rejoiced with the arrival of USC product Sean Salisbury. Salisbury promptly teamed up with star receiver James Murphy. And on October the 16th, Salisbury passed for 426 yards. Murphy gained 229 of them, a Bomber record. Murphy's 1,409 yards earned him second spot in league totals. First-year running back Tim Jesse carried the ball 93 times. Late edition Buster Rhymes averaged over 18 yards per catch. And the surprise of the season was the development at linebacker and specialty teams of Guelph grad Dan Wicklum. The Toronto Argonauts, under quarterback Gilbert Renfro's direction, scored 571 points, the third highest total of all time. Renfro racked up 4,100 yards on 290 completions, while leading the league in most passing categories. Slotback Darrell Smith scored 7 times on 73 catches. Veteran Jeff Boyd came over from Winnipeg to complement an already potent passing attack. Boyd caught 11 TD passes and amassed over 1,100 yards in receiving. Running back Gil Fenerty found the end zone 12 times and was on his way to joining the 1,000-yard club before breaking his leg. On August 31st, Fenerty established an Argo record, rushing for 215 yards on 23 carries. September the 30th, against the Stampeders, rookie Pernell Moore hauled in 12 passes for 215 yards. And on the season, Moore returned 2 punts for TDs, including this 109-yard romp. Defensive tackle Rodney Harding tied a CFL record with his 5 quarterback sacks in a game against the Eskimos. 2 Canadians, Glenn Kolka and Don Moen, had excellent seasons. Kolka, founder of Kolkamania, reached the backfield 11 times, while Don Moen recorded his first CFL TD in his 116th consecutive game. Willie Pless returned to all-star form with 96 tackles, third highest in league totals. In the defensive secondary, Reggie Pleasant survived the corner with 7 pickoffs, returning this one for a major. The Calgary Stampeders didn't prosper in 1988 as head coach Larry Kuharich had hoped. But the receivers didn't disappoint. Emmanuel Tolbert, in his 9th CFL season, didn't show any signs of slowing down at age 30. E.T. finished 3rd best in league totals with an average of 20 yards a grab. Quarterback Rick Warman teamed up with deep threat Larry Willis, who sparkled for a 2nd straight term. Willis caught 9 touchdown passes and had over 1,300 yards on 73 catches. Calgary native Tim Petros scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 93 yards in the August 5th game against Hamilton. Petros had the CFL's longest run from scrimmage in 1988, a 74-yard dash against Toronto. J.T. Hay set a league record for consecutive converts before making way for rookie Mark McLaughlin and his 58-yarder against Saskatchewan. Defensively, cornerback Chris Major was the highlight. His 10 interceptions tied him with Ottawa's Troy Wilson for the league title. He returned this one 30 yards for a touchdown against his western rivals, Edmonton Eskimos. The Stamps acquired Doug Tank Landry from the Argos. He'll help in the quest for top spot next year. Scott Flagel went east. Linebacker Kenny Ford came west to lead the team in tackles. And U of Calgary product Stu Laird impressed with 11 quarterback sacks. The league's most outstanding player in 1988 belonged to the West Coast BC Lions. Wide receiver David Williams caught a league-high 83 passes for a league-high 1,468 yards. The 24-year-old in his first CFL season equaled Brian Kelly's league record of 18 TD receptions. Williams also caught 4 TD passes in one game. Ex-Eskimo pivot Matt Dunnigan added his strong leadership and scrambling abilities to the Lions' offense. Dunnigan averaged over 5 yards per carry. His 3,700 yards passing was second only to Gilbert Renfro. The BC running game was unequaled in the country. The speedy Tony Cherry led the way, rambling 889 yards on 149 carries, a remarkable 6-yard average. The 5'7" dynamo found the end zone 9 times in his first season of Canadian professional football. Cherry was joined in the backfield by fellow All-Star Anthony Parker. The 215-pounder displayed exceptional toughness to match his 4.4 speed. Parker finished right behind Cherry with 851 yards and 5 touchdowns. With this punt, Lou Pasaglia became the all-time yardage record holder. Rush end, James Quick Parker led the CFL with 5 fumble recoveries. He takes this one in for 6. The Lions defense evolved around their exceptional linebacking threesome. Greg Stuman earned his 2nd consecutive All-Star selection. Vocal rookie Jeff Braswell turned in the 2nd best league tackle total. And perennial BC Lion Kevin Konar performed up to his usual consistent standards. Defensive back Larry Crawford ran up 810 yards in punt returns and set a CFL record for most 100-yard punt returns in one season with 5. Veterans Keith Gooch, Andre Francis, and Rick Ryan teamed up with rookie Marcus Thomas and Anthony Drawhorn to form an extremely effective defensive secondary responsible for 33 interceptions. John Gregory and his Saskatchewan Roughriders make the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. The leg of Dave Ridgway was a major reason. Ridgway equaled his CFL record of 8 field goals in one game, this time against the Eskimos. And then the 3-time All-Star rewrote the record book. Most field goals in a season, 55, and most points, 215. The quarterbacking duties were shared by Tom Burgess, who passed for over 2,500 yards, and by second-year man Kent Austin, who completed 58% of his passes. In the trenches, Roger Aldag, a 3-time All-Star at offensive guard, collected his 2nd Shenley. Running back Milton Jones scored 4 TDs in one game and 11 on the year. The Riders' exciting brand of football was exemplified in this Jones touchdown off a fake punt in a 26-24 victory over Hamilton. The inside receiving game was tops in the league. Ray Elgard caught 69 passes for 1,290 yards. Against the Lions, Elgard scored 3 TDs in a 36-32 victory. Top Canadian honors were his reward. Montreal-born Jeff Fairholm was picked top rookie in the West. Fairholm scored 10 touchdowns and marked up 833 yards. Several of his 45 receptions were of the spectacular variety. Bobby Jurison led the gang, Saskatchewan's much-talked-about defensive line. Jurison registered 16 quarterback sacks and became an All-Star for the first time. He had plenty of support. Outspoken James Curry and agile Gary Lewis contributed with 7 sacks apiece. Added strength came from former BC Lion Rick Klassen. And Vince Goldsmith returned to his Shenley form of 1981 with 15 quarterback sacks. In the backfield, Joe Fuller and Mike Magruder recorded 7 interceptions each. And Harry Skipper became the CFL's all-time leader with 1,027 interception return yards. The defending Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos and head coach Joe Faragelli finished first in the West, largely due to the emergence of sophomore quarterback Tracy Ham. The former Georgia Southern star replaced Damon Allen as the starter. Ham scampered for a league-high 628 yards, tops among CFL quarterbacks. Ham completed 55% of his passes and threw 16 touchdown strikes. Running back Chris Skinner sprinted for big gains against Calgary and Saskatchewan. Partner Blake Marshall showed signs of brilliance, lumbering into the end zone 5 times. Ham's favorite target was wide receiver Jim Sandusky. The ex-BC Lion averaged 20 yards a catch. Canadian Tom Richards caught 57 passes from his slot back position. The University of Alberta product also helped return punts. The electrifying Henry the Gizmo Williams blossomed into a clutch receiver. 85 yards and a touchdown against Toronto. In 1988, Gizmo caught 25 passes for 5 touchdowns. He didn't lose his pizzazz as a punt return specialist either. Williams led the CFL in yardage with 964, which included 2 returns for TDs. Middle linebacker Danny Bass was Western Shenley finalist in the defensive category. Bass led the league with a whopping 116 individual tackles. Brett the Toaster Williams lived up to his nickname. He burned the opposition on both sides of the ball. 12 quarterback sacks and this touchdown off a fake field goal cinched a win over the Argos. Cornerback Stanley Blair notched his first All-Star selection. Don Wilson made the transition to safety look easy, picking off 7 passes. And place kicker Jerry Korek was up to his old ways. This field goal against Calgary with 9 seconds remaining vaulted the Eskimos into first place. Winnipeg and Hamilton finished with identical 9-9 records. The Bombers received home field for their 2 wins over the Tiger Cats. Sean Salisbury and Tom Porras are the starters. The Bombers lead 3-1 when Porras connects with veteran Rocky DiPietro. That leads to rookie Martin Sarton's first playoff TD. Hamilton in front, 8-3. Winnipeg defensive pressure eventually leads to a Hamilton safety. All-star Chris Walby gone with a knee injury. Trevor Kennard adds another 3. Then late in the second quarter, Salisbury hits running back Tim Jesse for the major. Winnipeg leads 18-11 at halftime. Mother Nature pays a visit. The snow didn't seem to bother the Blue Bomber faithful. And it certainly didn't bother Hamilton's Earl Winfield. After Paul Osbaldiston's 2 third-quarter field goals, Winfield, the CFL's premier return specialist, runs back this Bob Cameron punt 91 yards to the Bombers' 16. But the Cats can't find the end zone, and Coach Al Bruno has to settle for 3. Then Tim Jesse registers his second TD. Fourth quarter action. Tony Johns hauls in this 5-yard pass from Salisbury. Bombers up by 2 TDs. That brings on former Ottawa quarterback Todd Dillon. He pulls Hamilton to within a touchdown, but Mike Riley and his Blue Bombers advance. Final score, 35-28. Western semifinal. A chilly day at Regina's Taylor Field, where BC's Matt Dunnigan starts at quarterback. On the Lions' opening drive, Dunnigan scrambles out of the pocket and finds Eric Streeter for 11 yards and the game's first points. But the Rough Riders march right back to tie it. Milson Jones on a 2-yard run ignites the sellout crowd. Defenses sparkle in the first half. Mike Magruder picks off Dunnigan. And then Rider quarterback Tom Burgess fumbles into the massive arms of James Quick Parker. Saskatchewan leads 10-7 when Tony Cherry scores to put the Leos up by 4. Kicker Lou Pasaglia adds 4 more points before Burgess teams up with James Ellingson to bring the Riders within 1. Second half action. Running back Tony Cherry breaks the game open with this 44-yard burst that leads to his second TD. In the fourth, defensive end Walter Ballard scoops up Tim McRae's fumble and dashes 35 yards to the end zone, thus diminishing John Gregory's Grey Cup dream. Cherry, the game's MVP, scrambles for his third TD and 184 yards on the day. Lions win 42-18.
Edmonton, beware!
The Eastern Final featured a rematch of last season's contest. Toronto's Gilbert Renfro entered the game as the league's top passer. But rainy weather conditions gave both offenses trouble. Winnipeg's James Jefferson picks off Renfro's first quarter pass. And then the CFL's best defensive unit, led by Rodney Harding, sacks Sean Salisbury. With Winnipeg leading by 4 late in the quarter, Salisbury sees James Murphy open. The pickup is 46 yards and sets up the game's first TD. Tony Johns goes over from the 1, and the Bomber lead is increased to 11 points. Lance Chomek's field goal puts the Argos on the board, but early in the third, punter Hank Alisic has a kick blocked by former Dallas Cowboy Rod Hill. Catches by Dwight Edwards and Jeff Boyd set up Toronto's first TD. Lorenzo Graham from the 1. The Bomber lead is reduced to a converted touchdown, but Trevor Kennard counters with 3 field goals. One set up by this Michael Gray hit and Willie Fear's fumble recovery. Coach Riley's team wins 27-11.
We are going to the Grey Cup.
Bob Obilovich will have to wait till next year in the Sky Dome. The BC Lions had never won a playoff game at Edmonton's Commonwealth Stadium. Dunnigan returns to his old haunt to challenge former coach Joe Faragelli. The Eskimos are up by 3 when Dunnigan hitches up with Tony Cherry for the 73-yard pass and run touchdown. Cherry's 4th TD of the playoffs. Tracy Ham drives the Eskimos to BC's 4-yard line, where Brett Williams, disguised as a short yardage end, hauls in Ham's TD pass. Edmonton leads 11-10 in the second when the Lions' elusive quarterback sprints into the end zone to give BC a lead they never relinquish. The second half begins with Kevin Konar and Greg Stuman forcing Ham to fumble. James Parker is there. Fourth quarter, Larry Donovan's Lions up by 1. League MVP David Williams catches his first playoff TD. Edmonton tries to catch BC off guard. A seldom used quick kick by slot back Marco Sincar. Keith Gooch of the Lions was ready. With under 3 minutes remaining, Dunnigan evades the rush of former teammate Stuart Hill. Eric Streeter makes a splendid one-handed catch, and it's all over. The BC Lions defeat the defending Grey Cup champions. 37-19 is the final. The British Columbia Lions and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers meet in the 76th edition of the Grey Cup. Ottawa, the nation's capital, plays host to a truly national event. The week prior to the championship game is filled with celebration and spirit. The jam-packed social calendar unites fans from west to east. A week like no other in Canadian sport.
Harrison, Miss Ottawa Rough Rider.
Karen Harrison from Ottawa is chosen Miss Grey Cup. And the Shenley winner for most outstanding player is
David Williams.
Sunday, November the 27th, game day at Ottawa's Lansdowne Park. The 1988 season will conclude with the playing of the CFL Championship game before 50,000 in attendance and a TV audience in excess of 5 million viewers. The BC Lions are clearly the favorites. They've won their last 5 games and 7 of the last 8. The Lions offense in its previous 5 victories has averaged a staggering 40 points an outing. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers struggled with a .500 season. The last time they played BC, the Lions came out victors by 21 points. Could the Blue Bomber defense contain the explosive BC offense?
6-1, God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee.
Referee Jake Ireland signals that Winnipeg will accept Lou Pasaglia's kickoff. The 76th Grey Cup is underway. Winnipeg's James Jefferson gives the Bombers solid field position. The return is 33 yards. Sean Salisbury starts for the Bombers, his first Grey Cup. Larry Donovan and Mike Riley are here for the first time as head coaches. Opening play. Salisbury to his clutch receiver. Former league MVP James Murphy gets the first down. It would be a familiar combination. The temperature is a balmy 14 degrees centigrade, but the gusting 40-kilometer winds could be a factor. Kevin Konar stops Tony Johns. Then an incomplete pass sends 9-year veteran Bob Cameron into punt. Cameron's kick is affected by the strong wind. It travels only 34 yards. Winnipeg's coverage on Jan Carinci limits the gain. Matt Dunnigan starts his third consecutive Grey Cup. He's won once and lost once, but he's never been a Grey Cup hero. There till the end. His wish this day is to lead the Lions all the way. BC's first series is brief. Cherry is stopped, and then on second down, Dunnigan is dropped to the turf. Passaglia, the CFL's second all-time leading scorer, sails a wind-aided 57-yarder to Paul Shorten. His return sets Winnipeg up on their 33. Riley ignores the traditional first down running play. Instead, Salisbury displays his scrambling ability. Again, it's the Salisbury to Murphy connection. Murphy in tight coverage makes a tremendous catch to collect 40 yards. The BC Lions defense regains its composure. Windy conditions mean a field goal is out. From BC's 35-yard line, Cameron connects with a 42-yarder to the end zone. Winnipeg is first on the scoreboard. Dunnigan then gets his team moving from BC's 35. A quick fake to Williams on the far side. Dunnigan scrambles and finds a diving Jan Carinci. Carinci, making his third Grey Cup appearance, gains 7. Anthony Parker up the middle. Benny Thompson stops him, but not before Parker gains 14 yards. On first down, Cherry loses 2. Then Dunnigan shows why he's rated as one of the greatest rushing quarterbacks in CFL history. The gain is 19. From Winnipeg's 37, Dunnigan spots Canadian slot back Scott Leckie for 9. A Bomber roughing penalty leads to a BC first down on Winnipeg's 14. Dunnigan immediately hands off to the Lions' leading rusher.
Tony Cherry carrying around the left side. Touchdown, Lions.
5'7" Tony Cherry scores the game's first touchdown. Dunnigan again uses Williams as a decoy. The fake hitch pass and a timely block by Parker enables Cherry to break outside for a 14-yard touchdown run. It's Cherry's 5th touchdown in postseason play. On the kickoff, number 32, Buster Rhymes, is contained by Scott Leckie. Salisbury, right to the passing game. Completions to Jesse and Rhymes, and then a 15-yard gain by Tony Johns. The Bombers reach center field. On first down, rookie defensive back Anthony Drawhorn inches away from taking the ball to the end zone. The pressure of the game continues to show. The Lions fail to move the ball on their next series. Winnipeg's offensive line is overwhelmed by the BC defense. Kevin Konar gets credit, but the Bomber front 5 get even on the next play. Plenty of time for Salisbury.
Second and long. Salisbury throws complete to Murphy at the 45. James Murphy into BC territory at the 50. The 30, the 20, down at the 15-yard line of the Lions.
James Murphy weaves his way through the Lion defense for a 71-yard gain. His third catch of the day gives him 122 yards in receptions, and it's still the first quarter. Murphy, who is the CFL record holder for receptions in a season, sets the Bombers up on BC's 15-yard line. Two incompletions leaves Salisbury confused over BC's changing defenses. Bob Cameron holds for Trevor Kenner. The Blue Bombers' all-time leading scorer connects from 22 yards out. Winnipeg trails by 3. Sean Salisbury and James Murphy are putting on quite a performance for outgoing Commissioner Doug Mitchell and CFL legend Normie Kwan. This game is extremely physical. The confrontations are expected. During the duration of the 18-game schedule, Winnipeg and BC were ranked as the league's most penalized teams. It's unusual for a highly penalized team to be successful. It shows a lack of discipline. For these two teams, the aggressiveness inspires emotion. On this day, it's just tough, determined football. Early in the second quarter, Salisbury mounts a drive. Scrimmaging from his own 36, he spots Tony Johns, who joined Winnipeg as part of the Jeff Boyd trade. The gain is 17 yards and leaves the Bombers at midfield. Tim Jesse picks up 7 off tackle. Salisbury, a fine job mixing plays and personnel. Slot back Randy Faby is on the receiving end of this 12-yard strike. The Lions defense holds, and that brings Kennard onto the field.
This try will come from the 43-yard line. Bob Cameron to hold. If it's good, it'll tie the game, and it does.
He evens the score. The fans in Ottawa seem to be in for a repeat of last year's thrilling final. The Lions elect to receive the kickoff. Tony Cherry is waiting and returns the ball 29 yards. Dunnigan from his 36. Winnipeg had shut down star receiver David Williams until now. A quick slant gets 11. On first down, Anthony Parker picks up 5 before Aaron Brown and company stop him. 2nd and 5. Cherry behind right tackle Larry Clarkson. Spins and is finally brought down. The Bombers call for a measurement. First down, midfield. Larry Donovan, in his first full season as head coach, has seen this play before. Dunnigan surveys the defense, then dashes for 10 yards on the keeper. Scrimmage line, Winnipeg's 43, definitely within reach of place kicker Lou Pasaglia. On first down, Cherry on the pitch, breaks it for 17 yards and his longest run so far. Thompson makes the diving tackle. Riley witnesses a drive that started at BC's 36.
2nd and 10 at the Blue Bomber 26-yard line. Benny Thompson blitzing, but Dunnigan completes the pass, and it's a touchdown, David Williams.
It was only a matter of time. The league's most outstanding player, David Williams, puts BC in front. Lion followers never dreamed anyone could possibly replace the great Mervyn Fernandez at wide receiver. Williams has done just that. On the play, Bomber safety Benny Thompson gambles with the blitz. Dunnigan reads it, finds Williams open in the middle. Williams is rejoicing. Thompson is reassured.
Tell everybody back in Winnipeg, we gonna win it.
The 26-yard completion to Williams is Dunnigan's 5th TD pass in the playoffs. But the celebration is short-lived. Next series, Salisbury to Murphy. The gain is 8. The Lions are penalized for rough play. Suddenly the Bombers find themselves with a first down on BC's 35. Salisbury strikes quickly. Great catch over the middle. Who else but James Murphy? With Kennard's point after, the game is tied at 14. Two different men with two distinctly different backgrounds have united to become one powerful force for the Bombers. Salisbury and Murphy, two men sharing a dream. Salisbury finds Murphy on a down and in pattern. Murphy somehow eludes the double coverage.
Gotta keep working hard. We're gonna play on the top, baby. Keep working hard. We'll be okay.
Kennard kicks off to Anthony Drawhorn, the first-year man from Nevada, Las Vegas University. Drawhorn is ranked 4th in league returns, averaging over 22 yards a run back. It was the topic of several Winnipeg defensive meetings. How to contain quarterback Matt Dunigan. Dunigan's scrambling abilities are well documented. Stopping him is another story. A potential loss is transformed into a gain of 6. Parker finds it tough up the middle. Aaron Brown forces 3rd down. Pasaglia comes in, a punt into the wind. But Brown doesn't have time to rest. On the ensuing punt, Rod Hill is caught on the offside. The 3rd and 2 now becomes 1st and 10. Then Thompson gets a little eager. Too early a jump on the blitz. The penalties move the Lions into Bomber territory. Riley tries to cool down his troops for BC's 1st and 5. Cherry picks up 3. And then Parker is stopped short. The gain is 1. Dunigan gambles on 3rd, following the blocking of an offensive line that averages over 265 pounds per man. 1st down, Lions. From the Bombers' 46, Dunigan swings a pass out to Cherry. He blasts through for a gain of 11. Dunigan goes to Cherry again. The screen, but Rommel Andrews is waiting. The 2nd down play is incomplete. Dunigan retires to the sidelines. To make way for Pasaglia's first field goal attempt of the game. During the '85 Grey Cup, Pasaglia was good on 5 of 6 attempts. This one from 41 yards is wide. Jefferson, in a surprise move, lets the clock run down before conceding the single. Winnipeg's offense is unsuccessful at moving the ball. So, with 1 minute remaining in the half, it's the Lions' turn. From their 12, Dunigan, screen pass to Cherry. The gain is 12. Then Dunigan catches Winnipeg in a single-man coverage against Williams. The foot race takes Williams to the Winnipeg 45 before Darrell Sampson cuts him down. A gain of 41. But BC can't move the ball. On the last play of the second half, Dunigan goes the distance. Jefferson and Thompson are there. The Lions take their 15-14 halftime lead into the dressing room.
CFL! It was happening in 87 Marty's great day! CFL! Yeah! CFL! Yeah!
The first 30 minutes consisted of big plays by the big names. BC has to solve the Salisbury-Murphy combination. Murphy was responsible for 165 yards. The Bombers need to adjust to Dunigan and Williams. The league's most valuable player accounted for 78 yards in first half receptions. Kennard kicks off to start the second half. Drawhorn gives the Western champions excellent field position. The Lion offense rushed the ball 19 times in the first half. Dunigan starts the third quarter on the ground. Cherry struggles for 2. A face mask penalty to Delbert Fowler and then a roughing call on Rod Hill allows BC to spot the ball. First down, the Bombers 10. Winnipeg's aggressive defense isn't finished yet. Dunnigan has to hold on to the ball when he sees a charging Benny Thompson. The loss is 7.
This attempt will come with the win from the 28-yard line. Rod Hill nearly blocked it, but Passaglia got it through the uprights.
The Lions defense prevails next series. Cherry then rushes for 9 yards on 2 carries. That leads to the game's most controversial call.
The Lions are 3rd down and a yard, and they are going to gamble at their 20-yard line. Dunnigan keeps off the right side, and I don't know.
A first down on the sneak is usually automatic. Instead, Dunnigan's greeted by ex-Lion Michael Gray and a sea of blue jerseys. Should they have gambled or opted instead for the punt with the win? The game's first turnover. Winnipeg takes over on BC's 20. The Blue Bombers face a stubborn Lion defense. Jesse picks up 6. Then Brian Bellway deflects this pass intended for Murphy. Kennard tries for his 3rd field goal. He makes no mistake. The Bombers trail 18-17.
We ain't out of it yet.
Injured offensive tackle Chris Walby and Lions backup quarterback Ricky Foggy look on. Winnipeg's been paying close attention to BC's wide receivers Williams and Streeter. Dunnigan directs his attention to the inside. Slotback Jan Carinci stretches for a 22-yard gain. And then 3rd-year pro Scott Leckie takes the ball down to Winnipeg's 43. All-star safety Benny Thompson shows tremendous pursuit. Cherry stopped short of the first down. The Lions go for 3.
And Passaglia will attempt a 43-yard field goal. Has the wind, it's blocked. The Blue Bombers block a Passaglia field goal try.
An emotional Willie Fears blocks Passaglia's attempt. That could prove to be the key play of the game. This 16-yard gain by Ken Winey is all the offense Winnipeg can muster. The Bomber offense that moved the ball so effectively in the first half will record only 2 first downs in the final 30 minutes. Punter Bob Cameron unleashes a 42-yarder into the wind. Carinci hangs on, but BC is stranded deep in their own end. Dunnigan, first down from his own 6. Looks long. The pass is intended for Williams. But Rod Hill comes down with it. Hill returns the game's first interception 19 yards to the BC 26. The Bomber cornerback has his 2nd interception in postseason. 2 more incomplete passes. This one is intended for Murphy. Nothing like the 240 yards of offense Winnipeg generated in the first half. Kennard's not as lucky on his 4th attempt. The Lions make the signal and then concede the single. Lions and Bombers even at 18. BC's next possession results in Lou Passaglia notching a single on this punt. Passaglia's 84-yarder is 3 yards shy of the Grey Cup record. BC leads by a single point. The Eastern champs start at their 35. The draw to Johns. He weaves for a pickup of 15. Rookie Jeff Braswell puts the grab on any Sean Salisbury scoring plans. The 14-yard loss sends Cameron onto the field again. His towering punt is fielded by Drawhorn, but Leon Hatzianu smashes into the return man, and fellow rookie Dan Wicklum comes up with the fumble recovery. Dunnigan will have to wait his turn.
Yeah, when it's a flat technique, clean up a little tighter.
Okay, but the biggest thing is the fix. Go ahead and play it tighter.
Okay.
From BC's 36, an incompletion and a loss. Johns is hauled down by Konar. The win keeps Kennard on the bench. Cameron, who has averaged over 47 yards a kick, lets go another marvelous punt. The game is tied at 19. The fourth quarter begins with the full house witnessing a masterful defensive performance. With less than 10 minutes remaining, Dunnigan teams up with Jan Carinci for a pair of first downs. Carinci gains 18, and then his second reception moves the yardsticks to BC's 45. Yet another drive ends. Willie Fears with help from Aaron Brown. Toronto mentor Bob Obilovich and Hamilton coach Al Bruno have observed superior second-half coverage on James Murphy. That stifles another Bomber drive. BC tries again, but they're forced to punt. Basaglia's kick hangs up in the air. The wind has played havoc with field position all game. An alert Michael Allen pounces on the ball, and the Lions are called.
Go yard. BC number 21. First down.
Great defense by linebacker Jeff Braswell means that Trevor Kennard will try to make his fourth field goal of the game. It's good, and the Bombers have the lead for the first time in this 76th Grey Cup championship. Winnipeg 22, BC 19, just under 3 minutes to play. The 5'6" Kennard line drives his kickoff to Drawhorn. The Lions will scrimmage 1st and 10 from their 35-yard line.
David Williams wide left, Streeter to the right with Scott Leckie. Dunnigan gives to Tony Cherry. He gets away from Aaron Brown. Tony Cherry still going. What a spectacular run.
Tony Cherry to Winnipeg's 23-yard line. The 52-yard dash is a Lions Grey Cup club record. 1st and 10. Dunnigan again to Cherry. He adds to his 100 yards plus rushing total. A Bomber offside leaves BC with less than a yard to go on 2nd down. The Lions well within field goal range. Again, Cherry gets the call. He takes the pitch and fights for the first down.
Come on, oh, let's go, baby! Go!
Lions at the Bomber 10. Cherry off tackle. The gain is 3. That leads to the game's biggest moment.
2nd down and goal. Lions are at the Winnipeg 7. Dunnigan, lots of time, pass deflected and intercepted. Michael Gray.
Defensive end Michael Gray With the Lions in certain scoring position, picks off Matt Dunigan, a play that will earn him the game's defensive most valuable player. Dunigan was looking for a wide-open Jan Karinci. Delbert Fowler gets the arm up. Gray's quick reaction results in the Lions' 5th turnover. But there's still over a minute remaining. The Lions hold Winnipeg deep in their end. Riley instructs the game's top Canadian, Bob Cameron, to concede the safety. Dunigan will get another chance, but Riley already has his sights on Lord Earl Gray's cherished cup. A BC rough play penalty on the kickoff forces the Lions to start from their own 30. The Lions trail by a point. Dunigan's first 2 passes go incomplete, and then his 3rd attempt ends in despair. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers win the 76th Grey Cup. For Sean Salisbury, his first Canadian championship. For Matt Dunigan, a bitter ending to an otherwise outstanding performance. And for Canadian football fans, another Grey Cup classic.
Sorry guys, sorry Vancouver, sorry BC, we just got to work harder. Stick behind us, all right? Stick behind us. The CFL and BC Lions are going a long, long way. A long way.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Grey Cup right here. It's the Grey Cup. Let me look at this here. It's the Grey Cup.
We had a chance to win. And in the last, when we returned it to the 50-yard line, I still thought we had a chance to win. Then we...
What are we on?
Okay, I just asked you, how sweet was it?
It was as sweet as they come. It was the sweetest of the sweet.
I think
It was so sweet that if it was any sweeter, then what?
it's gonna be a long story, I know.